is a comic review. It is purely about the finished work and any of the actions, opinions, family pets, weird interests, terrible cooking skills, or otherwise are not taken into account. This is just about the finished work, guys. We don't need to hear about all of their weird internet search history.
Hey guys, StarCraft here. I am still working on the interview. Like I said, pain in the butt. Also been just a very hectic week this week. Weather, among other things. So I'm just going to try and get some of these shorter videos out. I'm going to stick mostly to the ones I did the thumbnails for. That way I'm not adding more and more. I'll probably add 2 more, but that'll be it. This one though, I'm going back to an earlier thumbnail I showed up, I never got around to. Mostly because I was going to do it as a traditional review, but it's more of a spotlight and treatment still. It's going to be a short one. The reunion of Peter David and Dale Keown was The Incredible Hulk Last Call. Basically set after Peter David's run, but presumably before John Byrne took over. And this was done as to celebrate Marvel's 80th anniversary. And so they were bringing together a bunch of old, classic teams and everything back together. So for this, well, it opens up with someone, like a woman getting a call, a suicide prevention hotline. And yeah, basically reveals, her name's Veronica, and she's very well aware of Bruce and of Bruce Banner. Well, basically says she worked with Betty Ross, and he reveals she died. And basically, Bruce feels like he's the one who killed her, since it was, Abomination who did it, as to get back at him. And basically revealed how there's been news stories about him. He liked the NPR special and all that. Basically, and then Bruce is saying, I'm calling because it's Christmas and it's usually when the suicide rates go up. And he's explaining everything about it to her, and she's basically trying to, he's basically saying how he tried to jump off a cliff, didn't work, like usual. Every time he does, he's like, well, I finally solved it. She asks, you come to your senses? Nope, he's hired a hitman. Whoever it is, he will give the signal if he's going to do it, and if he doesn't, he'll give a signal to cancel it. Either way, the guy gets the money. Of course, the Veronica asks, would Betty want this? And he basically gives the usual, she'd want to be alive. And then he basically admits, I'm stressed out. Then he starts to talk about the first time he ever met her. Now, this mostly works if you use the sliding time scale of Marvel to adjust for Betty utilizing a laptop. But yeah, basically met her. There's a bit of an age gap, not much. But yeah, basically love at first. This is before they met up at the testing. So yeah, we have General Ross is on the phone basically saying how it's just a bomb blowing up in the middle of nowhere. What could go wrong? And basically Bruce helps her out with a little equation she's working on for college. And yeah, basically takes it care of, and they introduce each other. And we already are getting, because Peter David established this already, Joe Fix is already a part of him. Trying to whisper, basically saying, I know what you're thinking. You want her, don't you, you sick freak? And he's basically saying, he's saying like, yeah, you're a wuss, and all that stuff. Just constantly mocking him. And then Ross shows up, and yeah, basically saying like, hey, I'm surprised he actually talked with anyone. Showing that he's not the get away from my daughter type. Then, years later, he got married to her. that was Burns doing, of course. And then, he's reminiscing of all of their stuff. They have a nice, sweet talk showing that she still loves him and cares for him. But then he's asking himself, what if he had died? What if that had happened? She was married to Glenn, Glenn Talbot. And would they've had a happy life? What would Ross and Rick would have been like if they didn't have the Hulk? Yeah. And I mentioned how if it wasn't for all the other gamma radiation, we wouldn't have had MODOK, among others. He's just singing back to about Hulk. Basically how they tried to control it, everything went sideways. And when we got Betty as the harpy. Basically, it's just all this action surrounded by a great story. That's what I'm liking about this. Is that it's basically all this stuff is happening. We're actually having, Hulk fighting with Harpy during this, when I don't think that ever happened during Peter David's run. And, Harpy is taunting her, but Bruce is able to eventually put up a good fight and take her down. And I love it. In a clothing store, he asks, mind if I bring these later? And they're like, by all means, take them. No rush. And they're more on the phone still, basically saying how, anyone pointing out about all the people that the Hulk has helped. He even says, though, there's plenty of super folks to help under ordinary circumstances. And none of them have the record of damage and destruction the Hulk has. But then all of a sudden, he's hearing a commotion on the other side. And he recognizes the voice as this guy named Cal shows up. And is basically chewing her out. Basically being all like, you threw yourself at me. I spilled my drink on you and I was kind of drunk. We talked intimately for an hour. It was 5 minutes. Then it's revealed it's Mr. Hyde. And as he starts to smash up the place, as he starts saying stuff like, I am the creature that hides under your bed when you were a child. I am the glint in your father's eye before he beat your mother. To which he's like, my father never beat my mother, jackass. And then, Hyde is dealing with Hulk. I guess the last time they dealt with him was when he was gray. They're sort of tussling around as, they are just fighting as he just starts taunting him about Betty's death, saying, heard you lost your woman, lucky her. Or, what went through her mind anyway, marrying you? Did she even have a mind? And then that sets up the Hulk as he just starts wailing on him. And I'm pretty sure that it's still supposed to be Professor Hulk, as he just keeps on pounding him and pounding him, telling him to shut up, until Hyde then finally says, sorry for your loss. Then, Veronica takes Bruce to her apartment to give her some of her brother's clothes, even saying, he's out of town, and even still, I don't care. She then basically tells him, like, I'd be dead if you hadn't saved me. Do you think Betty would have wanted me dead? And he's like, no, never forget it. Then he leaves and gives the signal, revealing the person he had made a deal with was Deadpool. Kind of a force, and that's kind of a little forced if you ask me, but it's at the very end, and then that's the end of the story as Bruce walks off. Cue the Lonely Man music. It's a great one-shot. It's Peter David doing his own little handling of Betty's death, and set not long after her death, since he left the title not long around that point. Dale Keown's artwork is just as incredible, and it's just a nice, touching story, adding some other elements about Bruce and Betty, explaining why her death was so tragic and all that. She's alive now thanks to the events, but we already knew she wasn't fully dead. She was kept in a coma or cryotube in stasis mostly. She was mostly dead. But that's the whole Incredible Hulk Last Call. I highly recommend it. It's really good. And I'm going to try and get a bit more out. I'll probably try and do the Solomon Grundy book or something like that. And like I said, I'll be adding 2 more thumbnails to my list of upcoming videos. So, That's all I've got to say. Catch you guys later.